Hi, I'm gonna perform a nasotracheal suctioning. So before we perform, make sure we check the patient's chart, obtain any important information, and then once everything is done, go inside to the patient's room. Make sure we re-sanitize or wash our hands upon going inside the room. Introduce ourselves, explain to the staff if present or even to the patient who is cooperative what's the purpose of this, by telling them that we're gonna do a nasotracheal suctioning, helping or aid removing their secretions. So once everything is done, make sure we reassess the patient, obtain any vital signs such as like getting the SpO2 and heart rate, and then must include also performing an auscultation, listening to their breath sounds to make sure if or what area is it specifically there is secretions. So once we did those, make sure we also check the ID band for the patient for any confirmatory purposes. And then once everything is done, we can proceed in the other stuff. So first is we have to make sure we wear clean gloves. And then after wearing the clean gloves, make sure we turn on the regulator. Make sure it's appropriately set up at about -120 to -150, not more than 150. We can also have to check the suction bottle if there are any leaks present or any misconnections, and then with the tubing make sure it's not kink or any obstruction on it, and then we can check if it's functioning correctly. If we're obstructing it, trying to check what pressure does it reach. If it does reach more than -150, we can readjust it a little bit. Then set it aside. And then let the patient hyperoxygenate using our non-breather mask. Try to check also the mask if it's inflated. Make sure, assuming it's fully inflated, place it up to the patient and allow the patient to hyperoxygenate. So after that, gather all the supplies, make sure everything is complete. With the sterile gloves, make sure it's fully open. And then with the lubricating jelly, make sure we put it up in this side, or we have a clean gauze present where we're gonna put a specific amount. And then we also have a sterile water. Try to put a adequate amount on it so that the catheter would be sterilized. And then we have here a suction airway. So this one we can check or measure it up by its tip of the nose until the earlobe, and then we can also check it up by trying to observe the tip of it if it's too small or too big. Make sure we have different sizes with us at all times. And then when inserting this, make sure we lubricate it, the lubricating jelly, so that it would help insert it with ease. And then when inserting up, make sure we insert it gently. And then if we sense any obstruction, first is we always have to do it gentle twisting, and then not push it too much so that we can prevent any trauma to the nose. And then upon inserting, by the way, is we make sure how to inspect both nostrils if there are any obstruction or any deviated septum present. So once you inserted it up, to place the non-rebreather back to the patient, and then we also have to choose which one is our dominant hand. So assuming this one is my sterile or dominant hand, this one is my clean. So we can either remove it, we wash our hands, or we can just place it over the sterile gloves to the clean gloves. So we have to wash it, and then we have to wear sterile gloves. Make sure also, by the way, that aside from wearing the gloves, we also have a face shield present, a gown, or even for the hair, or even a mask, so that we will be able to protect from any splashing of fluids. So once you wear this one, make sure we have to grab the suction tubing and then try to obstruct again, then insert the catheter until we hear a hissing sound, and then we have to try to re-sterilize until we sense that it's functioning or able to suck an adequate amount of water, sterile water. So make sure we always lubricate it with a lubricating jelly. And then once we're ready, insert it carefully to the patient's nose. And then if we sense a first obstruction, we try to